Thanks, Chairman. No pressure there then. Morning, everybody. The feedback from the last couple of meetings was that on this particular issue is that people are a little bit confused about electoral systems. We talk an awful lot about the theory, and our challenge over the last week or two was to create a simulation that would make the whole thing very real. So what we decided to do, and if we have the first slide, our objective, the game that we played last night with about 40 of the citizens, was to use the two electoral systems we're going to look at this weekend to create a dream team of 10 radio presenters to make up your perfect radio station. So we used a number of radio stations with a number of presenters and then ran them through both electoral systems. So I'm going to walk you through the results of the two systems and show you what's different and show you what's the same and maybe highlight the differences of the way things work. I should have the clicker myself, yeah. So for the game, we picked 5 radio stations to act as political parties. So always bear in mind that try and relate what you're looking at with the electoral system. So our 5 parties were RT1, 2FM, Today FM, News Talk Radio, and then we put in a party called the Representatives of Local Radio as well, because there are a number of local radio stations, and the results of that were interesting in that regard as well. They're a little bit like independents, perhaps, in our electoral system as it is now. So the first election we ran was one that we're very familiar with, I think, to get people comfortable with the model. We ran a PRS TV election. So in that, to create, or to elect our 10 presenters to represent us in our station, we created 2 5-seater constituencies. Each ballot paper had 15 names on them, and our 40 citizens ranked them 1 to 15 in order of their choice, etc. And we ran that model through as well. The 2 constituencies were morning to lunchtime slot, and then afternoon and onwards. So we had, in the morning slot, you'd have Morning Ireland, News Talk Breakfast, Pat Kenny, and people like that, Ian Dempsey, Ray Darcy, etc., all the radio stations all together. And the results of that were in that order. Morning Ireland topped the poll on the first count. So obviously lots of people in the room liked Morning Ireland, which is not unusual because it's I suppose the flagship morning programme. So RT1, the RT1 party came first in that regard. Pat Kenny was second. Ray Darcy was third. Hector O'Huckagoyne, I wrote Breakfast with Hector because I couldn't spell O'Huckagoyne. And Sean O'Rourke with the News at 1 was 5th. So there's our top 5 candidates who were elected for our dream radio station. In the afternoon, the evening, there were the results as they came out again. RT1 did very well. So they got 6 of the 10 slots in our dream radio station. Matt Cooper, we drive home to Matt Cooper in the evening apparently, and Ger Gilroy's News Talk sports programme in the evening came out on top as well. So there were our candidates using PRS TV. It's a system we're all familiar with, and we just park that, and everybody, I think, understands the way that works. The second way is our mixed member proportional election. So this is where everybody gets 2 ballot papers. You get a ballot paper to elect somebody in a constituency, and which is the morning or the lunchtime or the drive time or whatever slot. And then on the other side, you get a ballot paper with the parties. So each party would nominate a list of candidates, and you get to vote for a party for the remaining 5 seats. Are we okay? Everyone with me? Because again, the feedback is that people don't really understand the technical detail, and I can assure you, you don't need to. You don't need to be able to understand how your car works as long as you know how to drive it. So, I mean, if you get the gist of the way that this works, you've got 2 ballot papers, that will be enough. So the constituency results. So in each of those, we gave out ballot papers, and it was first past the post. So as David said the last time, we had 5 constituencies. A number of people voted in different constituencies, and there we go. Morning Ireland topped the poll, or came first by a short margin. Now it only barely beat Ian Dempsey in the morning. Mid-morning, Pat Kenny just barely beat Ray Darcy. Lunchtime, Larry Gogan hammered everybody else out of sight. Of the 21 people who voted in that constituency, Larry got 11 votes, which was surprising, because even the two news programmes on RT1 and News Talk, one got 4 and the other got 3. So Larry is a clear winner amongst his particular constituency. Drive time, again, we drive home to Matt Cooper, and again, Ger Gilroy on the sports programme for News Talk won that. So there's our 5 constituency seats. So we move on then to the bit which I think people struggle with the most, which is the list results. So everybody voted for a party. So every party put forward 5 people on a list. Our steering group members very kindly, Aideen and Owen, very kindly acted as party headquarters, and they ranked the candidates in the order in which they were to appear. Now, I won't name the person, but for example, in the RT1 list, Miriam O'Callaghan was number 5 on the list of 5 when there was only 5 seats. So it was always highly unlikely that Miriam would ever get a seat, because she's the last candidate and nobody else would have to get any votes for that to happen. So there were the results. RT1 got 44% of the total electorate of, we had 39 or 40 people voted. And so that gave them the top 2 of their list. And the order in which they appeared was John Murray and Marion Finucane. Today FM got 1 seat. Local radio got a seat as well, ahead of, at the cost of 2FM. 2FM didn't get any seats in the list system, but they did get a couple on the other side, if you remember. So Ciara Revens from Clare FM gets a seat. Does anybody in the room know Ciara Revens from Clare FM? It's a mystery to me as well, to be honest, but somebody voted for her, and well, they voted for local radio, and she was the top candidate on the local radio list, and that happens to be the way. And then News Talk, I'm just going to call this person Dill, because it's another surname I just simply can't pronounce. Thank you to Owen, who put her name on the top of the News Talk list. So people like Sean Moncrief and Mark Coleman, etc., who were on the News Talk list as well, simply didn't feature, because the News Talk only got 1 seat and they didn't get past their top candidate. So that's it. I mean, in a nutshell, we got into a very complex discussion about the numbers and about how to achieve quotas and transfers and surpluses and all that, but there aren't any numbers on the slides this morning, because I think you just have to see how the election would work to get the gist of it in your own mind. So there were the overall results. As you can see, 5 of the candidates are the same, using both systems, and 5 of them are different. So there are different results using different voting systems. Morning Ireland is the same. Pat Kenny came through on both as well. Matt Cooper came through on both. Ger Gilroy did, and Marion Finucane. All of the others are very different. And you can see why, because there are people who are using different methods to elect the people for the job that they've been asked to do. And my final slide then is just simply the numbers. Using PRSTV, the first time RTE got 6 out of the 10 seats, but using MMP, they only got 4. Today FM stayed the same. News Talk got a benefit of a seat. 2FM stayed the same, and local radio took a seat as well. Now, any questions on that? Are we all clear? We're going to do a question and answer session now. I'm happy to take any questions on the mechanics of how it works. I hope that improves your understanding of the way the 2 systems work, and it's a bit clearer in your mind. Thank you.